Hi everyone. So far in our last 50 sessions, we have seen all the different type of testing activities. We have understood all the concept of testing related. We have also seen software testing life cycle, how to write test cases, test scenarios, test execution, defect reporting, defect logging, defect tracking, test closure activities also we have seen in our previous session along with test metrics. Today we will go through some of the important points which every QA person should know. So once you join any organization as a quality assurance member or a software tester, what are the points we should remember? What are the day-to-day activities we are going to do? And what are the good tips and good to do activities for every QA person whenever he joins a new organization? So these are some points which every QA person should know whenever you join any project, whenever you are going to join or whenever you are going to work on any new project as a quality assurance member. The first and most important point is, as a tester, we should always understand the application first. So whatever application you are going to work upon, it can be a website, it can be a mobile application, etc. You should always get familiar with the end users, target audience, and key use cases. So whatever project you are going to work upon, you should understand who are the end users. Those end users are going to use that feature or that application. Who is going to be the target audience and what are the key use cases. So that understanding we should have very clear and concise. As a QA person, you should always establish a good working relationship with developers, product managers, and even customer support team members as well. Because every team member will give you some insights on the product, requirements, user behavior, etc. So we should always establish a good working relationship with all the different team members like developers, product managers, customer support people, etc. We should communicate openly and effectively because as a QA person, collaboration is a key to successful QA process. So we should be very strong in communication. We should communicate very openly and clearly with all the team members. We should always understand the specification, requirements, features, etc. Whenever you have any doubt, you should immediately ask it to respective person. As a QA person, you should never assume anything. We should never assume anything. We should always get the confirmation. If there are features which you are not sure how they are working, you should immediately start exploring that feature. After exploration, if you have any queries, you can ask to product person or developers. But as a QA person, we should have very clear understanding of all the features and all the requirements you are going to work on. Obviously, you are going to write a different type of test scenarios, test cases writing, giving the priority to test cases, maintaining the test environment, creation of test environment. So those will come under your day-to-day activities as well. Whenever you are in test execution phase, you should always update the status proactively. So whether test case is passed, whether it is failed, or if it is blocked, etc. You should immediately log the test results during the test execution phase. Whenever you find any issues, you should proactively log those issues. And also Just logging is not enough. You should always track those issues. What is the status of the current issues? How many issues are open? Why they are not getting closed, etc. During testing, if you find some of the issues which are blocking your testing, you should immediately raise that concern to a team members. You can tag the developers, you can tag the project person, product person to inform about the concerns and blocker issues which you are facing during testing. Once developer fix the issues, we should retest those fixed defects and close those proactively. So as a tester, we log multiple defects, and whenever those defects get fixed by developer, just fixing is not enough. We should always retest those issues, whether it is actually fixed or not. And if it is actually fixed, then only we should close those issues. We should always report to test lead or test manager about the tasks which are assigned to you, how the task is getting progressed, if there are any challenges, if there are any concerns around those tasks, that we should proactively report to our test lead or test manager. We should always have active participation during meetings. During meeting, as a QA, we should always be a proactive member. We should always ask any feedback, we should ask for suggestions, or we can give the suggestions, we can discuss the requirements, we can find out any gap in the requirements. Also, whenever you are doing the testing, if you find there are certain activities which are very repetitive in nature, so you should find out some ways to automate those tasks. You can write simple scripts for such repetitive tasks and automate those. So it will increase your efficiency. And as a tester, most important thing is we should provide the confidence on the builds which we are testing. Once testing is completed, whether that specific feature, whether that specific build is ready to be deployed or not. If it is ready to be deployed, that means you are totally confident on that build. But if you are not confident, then we should raise that point, that if that build is not quality efficient, then we should raise that point and we should not deploy such build on production. So these are some points which as a QA we should always remember. There are some more points. For example, when we talk about quality assurance and testing, we should always remember that testing is not just about test execution. So testing is not just about executing the test cases. Actual quality assurance starts from the start. As soon as you get the requirements, at that point onwards, quality assurance starts from your end. We should always go through the requirements. We should always think about those requirements. We should find out any requirement gaps and we should inform the product person immediately so that those requirements will be updated correctly. So QA actually starts from the beginning. So as a tester, we should always remember that as soon as you get to know about requirements, any new feature which is coming, at that point onwards, actual quality assurance starts. And we should always test the software from end user's perspective. Always think about end user who is going to use that feature. We should always remember that 100% bug-free product is not possible. No matter how much exhaustive testing you are going to do, there would be some defects which would be present in the system. And not necessarily all the defects will be fixed by developers, or even sometimes even product managers, project managers also leave some defects which are not business critical, which are very minor to the business or which are very minor to the product. So those issues sometimes are not needed to be fixed. So you have to remember that point. Also, never do repetitive testing with same test data. So whenever you are testing the application, you should never use the same test data again and again, because if you are going to use the same test data, it will give you the same results every time, and chances of finding issue will decrease. So we should always vary the test data accordingly. So once you use different type of test data, the chances of finding issues increases. That's why we should never use the repetitive test data for same test cases. Always identify high risk modules for finding more defects which are critical to business. So in application, not all the modules are very critical. There are some modules which are very critical to business. So we should focus more on such modules, identify the risk area, and find out more defects in that area. And never provide QA sign off if you are not confident about the quality of the product. So quality assurance people are basically gatekeeper of the quality of that product. If as a QA you are not satisfied with the quality, you should not give the sign off. You should give QA sign off only and only when you are totally confident about the quality of that specific build or that specific feature. So QA people has the great power to stop the release if the quality is not good or the QA is not confident about that build. So QA people has that power. Be open to receive feedback from peers, managers and other stakeholders. So you should be collaborative in nature. Always take time to time feedback from your manager, product manager or other peer people or other stakeholders as well. So we should always take feedback. It will help us to grow. And use feedback as a learning opportunity to improve your testing approach and skills. The more you communicate, more you take the feedback from other people, it will help you to grow more and improve your testing approach and skills. And the last point and most important point is always keep learning and keep growing. Every day you should always learn something new. And as a QA, there are lots of things which we can learn every day. So we should always keep learning and we should always keep growing. So with this point, we have completed our theoretical concepts of all the manual testing related concept. In coming sessions or maybe in some other series, we will add some practical concept about software testing as well. But I hope you like this series. I hope you have liked all these 51 videos about software testing concept. So please subscribe to my channel. Please share these videos. It will help not only to you but also your friends and the people who want to learn this concept very easily. So thank you again.